Welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve. And you are? That's Eve. She forgot her name for a second.
I was just watching Beth going. It's just...
You know it's our goal every week to conceal Beth. No, we have our mom's picture here with us because it's Mother's Day and we wanted to celebrate her memory. We hope you're all having a great Mother's Day. And we're here together. I guess it's Purple Day. No memos were sent, but we'll be right back. And we're going to take the picture down so you can see lovely Beth. So we're back. And you can see, here's Beth.
Yes. I was actually hoping that like you were not going to wear your shirt like this, or I thought,
the tie-dye.
What if all three of us wore that?
All three of us have shirts like that because we dyed them
for a camping trip.
For the camping trip, and actually it was the same camping trip where I started working on these.
Yeah, that was 21.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we just decided to do some purple. No, we didn't. We really made no decisions. I just showed up and noticed it. I think Eve's going first today.
Yeah. So this is WIP-GO weekend, and I have decided that the WIP-GO pull that I'm going to do is my middle one, whatever that is, 15. Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts 2023 temperature SAL, and I need to just finish this bottom part. And last week we were discussing what I was going to put over here because Grand Canyon is long, Phoenix is not. And I realized at some point this week, you know what? I should put Ahwatukee. Now, I live in Ahwatukee. It's a suburb of Phoenix. It's not part of the other cities of Phoenix. It's
like Tempe and Chandler and all
that.
It's technically Phoenix. Yeah.
It is Phoenix. It's just a suburb of Phoenix. And it's weird that we grew up in a suburb of Albuquerque that was also part of Albuquerque, but not part of Albuquerque.
Part of the greater Albuquerque area. But
no,
not Albuquerque.
It's unincorporated Bernalillo County.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I decided to put in Ahwatukee there, and she has a little letters and chart thing where you can chart what you want to put there to see if it'll fit. And this is where I am before the WIP-GO weekend starts, right here. And I can't wait to start on those flowers.
I know. It's my favorite part.
I can't wait to start on those flowers.
I love how they fade colors and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah. They're beautiful. I love this temperature pattern for two reasons. And one of those things I'm learning with these turtles, it is not easy to keep track of the temperatures and all that other stuff, and you have to keep up with it because you don't want to get too far behind, right? Mm-hmm. And you just have to stitch just a tiny bit indication for every day. And the thing that takes time is the borders and of course the flowers, which is why I haven't finished them yet. The temperature turtles are another story entirely, which I will get to later. So I have two finishes this week. Naomi, in one of our chats about something, Naomi mentioned that Mark's birthday was
coming
very soon. And I went, oh no.
Like a week away? It's like a week away?
From tomorrow.
Yeah. So I said, I better get this finished. When I started it, I was like, oh, I have plenty of time. And I was like putting in, one thread and, not worrying about it. This is Erica Michael's Happy Hanukkah. And my brother-in-law is Jewish. And with everything going on, I just felt it was nice to support that. Anyway, I mean, I know it's not Hanukkah right now. Okay, I know that.
Yeah.
But you want to have the stuff that you're going to use to decorate for that season before the season. But anyway, here it is.
Nice.
That's really cute.
And in this pattern, they had it finished as a pillow. And it has little buttons that go on it. I haven't sewn those on.
It came with a button?
Yeah, it came with. That's in the bag over here.
Let me see that. Oh, there's a little star button.
Oh, cute.
A little triangle.
Right there.
Oh, that's cute.
Some are for the berry.
Oh, they're so tiny. Mm-hmm. Oh, cute.
Anyway, I may or may not take a picture of those. So I haven't put those on yet because I finished this this morning. Last night I was working on it and I was just like, I wasn't going to bed yet. I was just like, I'm done. I'm not stitching another thing. So I decided that Mark wouldn't have very much use for a pillow. So I'm going to make it a flat fold so that you can just put it up on the desk or whatever, coffee table, whatever he wants to do with it. So that is one of my finishes. And then I was trying to do some organization so that I could kit up Botanical Bee. And
What's that pattern again?
I don't have it with me.
Oh, we talked about it last week, right?
Yeah. There's a picture of it on the iPad. You can put it if you want to. So I had was looking through bags for the threads that I needed, and I was also trying to do some organization to free up a project bag that I could use to put everything in. And I came across this unfinished beauty right here, Stars and Stripes by Stitching with the Housewives.
Oh, that's cute.
It is a free pattern that came with, and I don't know which one, I don't remember, one of these two. And these I started working on in that same holiday weekend, that same weekend that we went up with
when we went to Greer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it is, I plan to finish it exactly the same as these, but it is not going to be exactly the same. Now, it is charted exactly the same, and I'm talking about size. Because I was doing just the white part, and I was about here on the white part, and that was way back when, right? And when I was doing this middle part, I went, that is one stitch too low. So I just said, nah. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you're gonna have them like a little trio of things for.
I have a United States wooden piece.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm gonna put them on there, and I think I will put them on there in a way that I can remove them, so that I don't have to put them away like that, and so that I can like put them on a tier tray if I'd prefer or what have you. Mm-hmm. Because whoever designed this house did not design it with wall space that is meaningful. As you can see, we have a large window back there, but what you really can't see is there are two large windows on this side. And, and it's like that in the whole house. So the
windows are good.
I like windows. And they're large windows. So the available wall space, because, you know, we've put stuff on the walls already, is limited. All right, so that is that. And since I've already talked about temperature charts, this is the temperature chart that I'm working on this year. Temperature Turtles by Stitch and Mommy. And while I absolutely love these turtles, because I love sea turtles, I have
Turtles of consternation.
I was gonna say.
I have had so much trouble because every turtle has quite a bit of extra stitching to do. So rather than waiting until the end of the year, I have to finish it right now in order to be able to count down where the other stuff is. And we all know
how counting goes for you.
That I cannot count. But if you look at this turtle, you will see that it is not hot. We had 2 days of heat here on this turtle of April, and this past week it hasn't. It's been very
Toasty.
very warm, but it has not gone above 93.
It's coming.
Oh yeah, it's coming. And honestly, I can't wait for when I can get in the pool. And yes, I know a lot of you think 93 is plenty warm enough, but it is not.
No, it has to be 110 for I'll swim.
Well, at least over 100. At least over 100 for more than one day in a row. That'll allow the sun to heat up my swimming pool, because
It's unheated. It's solar powered.
it's got solar heating. Yeah, and it's just. I used to think Naomi was crazy. She's like, no, it's too cold to go swimming. I'm like, it's 85 degrees. She's like, it's really too cold.
I don't like
Yeah.
being
When I
cold.
first moved here, I thought, because I guess I moved in October, and so I guess by April or thereabouts, I was gonna try to go swimming, and the apartment complex that I moved into had like one heated pool and I think 2 unheated pools, and the heated pool was being worked on, so it wasn't available. And I thought, okay, it might be a little cool. And I got in it was so cold.
No,
It was so cold.
It's too cold. I like my okay. Y'all think it's crazy. I like my swimming pools to feel like a bathtub. Sometimes I get hot in the pool, and that's not good. But I'd rather that than be shocked and crazy.
And the thing is that in a lot of places where it doesn't get as hot as it does here, they heat the pool.
Right.
It's more likely that the pool will be heated.
Will be a nice temperature. And I like so then you even in 110 you get out and you're like, oh, it's cold, and then you dry off, and it's
Sometimes
just
you go, oh, I lost my chill.
yeah. If you get inside to the air conditioning before that, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And you kind of stay. cool.
I haven't gone out of the house very much at all this week. I haven't been feeling good, so and I'm not sick. It's just my lungs are not cooperating with me. So I did a tiny bit more work on Corgi and Snow, Cute Patterns by Maria Brovko. And this is a free pattern that is on her Facebook page, I believe. My dog is chomping on her nails, so I don't know if you can hear it. I started filling in some of the white. I really love this pattern. And I have no...
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I have no set time when I need to finish it. And I have most patterns that I start, I want the finishing in my head before I start it. It helps me be excited about finishing it. But it also has me planning for, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. Not a clue.
With the little doggo.
But I still am excited to finish it. With Lemon Cat, I really didn't know either. And then I said, oh, I'll put it on a lemon. And there went lemon history.
And the rest is history.
Okay, and then I'll flash this pattern again. This is DMC's Turtle, a free pattern that I got off of DMC, and it is one of my oldest WIPs, and I did some work on this. But you probably really can't tell what I've done. I finished the head. Okay. I finished the blue part of the head. What I put the blue Krynic over. This bottom part is not gonna have blue Krynic. It's gonna be green. Anyway, I have a length of the Krynic here, which you cannot see because it's thin. It's one of those really thin, just like.
Bundy filament or?
No, it's not even that. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember tinsel from a Christmas tree? That's kind of what it is. And I want to finish the secondary color that I used up here in this blue area. I used the call for it, but I want to get that done down here on the fin before I start trying to put this stuff on it. So, because in the dark blue areas I have more than I do in the lighter, and it's not blue, it's a gray area, and it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna put that there, and I'm gonna cover it with this here, and when you look at the pattern, the head and the fins are in shades of blue and green, but the colors that you're using are not the same. So the dark blue part of the head here has dark blue, but on the pattern it's not that way, and I just kind of was like, I'm gonna make it up, make it the way I want to make it. So yeah. And then my only other WIP is Little Biscuit by I don't know who. I wish the pattern said who the designer is, but it doesn't. And you can see on the videos it says a something or other world. But that's the only time you ever see it. And I can't remember what it says, which is really awful of me, because these are incredibly cute. The ears are not the same. I know they're supposed to be, but they're not.
Cute. Your little face.
And then these look like somebody's pants. I don't know which is the front and which is the back. And yes, this side is much further over here than this one. And I double checked, and then I looked at the picture, and it's like that on the picture. I think this is the tummy and this is the back. But I don't know. I don't know that it matters. So I'll decide when and I'm at the point here where I'm supposed to put stuffing in the little feet. I just haven't done it yet. Because between the pollen and the chenille coming off of this, I was like, I can't breathe. Look, it looks like he's looking at us.
He's cute.
Yeah, so, and then, as I said, I like to know what I'm going to do. And I went to Hobby Lobby to look for that flower for Botanical Bee. And I couldn't find what I wanted, But I found this, which may be better. Now, this part right here is too small for the bee, but this part is not. So I can paint this any way color I want. I saw some metal ones, and y'all have seen the bee I finished on metal flower. And I was like, that might be the right color. And I have a very good color memory. But I'm looking at it going, no, I think it is a little too teal, and I didn't want anything that was going to take away from that beautiful fabric. And that's why I was looking for that flower. But this, I can paint it any color I want. So, and it's a daisy. I love daisies. Now, the hanger on this is just this piece of jute.
Yeah.
Which I may have to put a different hanger on it. I don't know. And then while I was looking for a flower, I saw these. And they were labeled Spring Shop. And I thought, okay, well, they're 40% off.
Is that front one the only one? Yeah.
The front one's the only one that says anything.
Yeah.
I don't need them to say anything. And remember, I was trying to find space to kit up Botanical Bee and some other things. And I said, oh, space. Space. Because I almost ordered some from Amazon. I almost ordered some from Amazon, and I said, I don't know. But then when I saw these, I said, okay, I'd probably get more for about the same amount of money on Amazon. But these are different sizes, and I like that. So, and I didn't want to get the Amazon. They have the one that has like a gazillion bags with a whole bunch of different sizes, and I was like, I don't need that. So that is all I've been doing, which is a lot.
You want me to go next? I don't have that many things. I did my update last Saturday from Naomi's house, and I didn't have that much that I had done. It was mostly my plans for May because it was the beginning of May. It was May the 4th. And I always feel like I have a lisp when I say that. Hold on one second. I want to put this thread in the back. So I had worked on the funny thing about May this year is that there are the 4 days. I think it was like Wednesday through Saturday or something like that. Was the first few days of May, and then there's 3 full weeks, and then the last week of May it goes to like Thursday or Friday, almost a whole week. So the month of May is really very long, because just the way it falls, which is great because with WIPGO having that 13th number was called. So that means there's 3 projects for the month of May. Excuse me. And as I talked about last week, I'm not doing Mania this year. Too many people do. I figured, having 3 WIPGO projects and the little extras that I'm doing, my secondary charts, and Mother's Day and all that, gives me plenty to do in the month of May. So one of my secondary projects is this Sleepy Hollow. I had on my chart, on my WIPGO chart, I had in one square I have Sleepy Hollow number 2, which is this one up here, and the goal on that one was to finish it because there's only like the grass is made up of 2 shades of green, and I've got 1 shade of green already finished. So to finish it, I have to do the other shade of green and some pumpkin stems and some back stitching, and I'll be done, right? So that would be an easy goal to hit. But then for my secondary chart idea for this one of the blocks for this month is to start this one, the number 3 chart, because I have not started it yet. I haven't started 3 or 4. So, and this is this is by Tiny Modernist, the Sleepy Hollow SAL, Mystery SAL, from 2019. And so anyway, last Saturday I was working on, there's some free borders, or I mean not free, border patterns that were with the individual patterns that sort of delineate each separate section, and you could do them all in one thing like this, the way it's shown here, or you could do them all as drums, which was what I was thinking originally. So anyway, this is what I was working on. So I don't know if you can see it from there, but so I did this border to start with, and then down here I just have the first couple of words. I'm working my way backwards because I was already here at the end, and rather than I guess the other thing I was thinking originally was there's a tree that goes here at the beginning, and it goes up close to the border. And I was originally going to start there, but I was over here in the end, and I thought, well, what the heck, I'll just put the words in. So I have power is the one word I finished, and the other one is the part of the word her. It just says So the text says for this square, for this block, you'd best beware the witching hour when every witch will show her power. So it's got some little witches and ghosts and a cat and things like that. So I don't know when I'll get back to it. I have a few more days, like I said, the end of May, to work on this. So I want to get some more done on that. But anyway, so and then last week I talked about I had done some work on the May rabbit, and I haven't had I haven't gotten back to that. But then, excuse me, my other WIPGO last week last Saturday I talked about how my plan is to, because my goals are 7 days on each thing, so. So for those 3 full weeks of May, each week I'm going to work on one of the projects. So for this first week, starting on Sunday, I was doing the Jackrabbit, which is the number 3 chart from Cottage Garden Samplings: A Year in the Woods. And this is the reason why I went down this rabbit hole and got all these charts.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, this Cheryl, what is her last name? I can't think of her last name.
Anyway,
but she has a Flosstube channel called Tranquil Stitches, and she and her husband live in Virginia or West Virginia, one of those Virginias, and so she had come across this chart. I don't remember if she came across it when it was either released for market or what the deal was, but this jackrabbit has just this very saucy little smile, and she was very drawn to it. And when I saw it on her channel, I thought, oh, I need that. And of course, there are 12 in this series. So there's the jackrabbit is number 3, and I've started last month for April. The swans was one of my WIPGO things, and because I had just a very minimal start, and I not quite finished it. It's about 2/3 of the way done. I think I'm almost finished with the swans themselves, and then there's extraneous foliage, and then the fox is the number one. And I wish I had done more of his body, but I realized when I was looking at these, I've done these 3 cabins. There's this little triangular little alpine-looking cabin on the fox, and the swans. They have this little house-like cabin, and the jackrabbit has another little cabin. And all the cabins, I don't know if I don't think they use the same colors, but they're basically the same. Anyway, so I actually ironed these a little bit because they were so wadded up. As my mother used to say, they look like chewing gum. So these are the first 3 patterns. And right now I'm working on the jackrabbit. I finished the little cabin, but I'm working on his big ears. And I worked on his face because I wanted to do his face right away. Because I kept looking at it going, wait, where are his eyes? Where are his eyes? And they're on the side there. But his little smile is there. The little reddish color for his lips is the only place that thread is used. There's like 2 little squares to be his mouth. But yeah, so today is the 7th day, and so I want to stitch as much as possible on the jackrabbit because I'm gonna put it away for the rest of the month because I've got so much other stitching to do. Excuse me. Sorry. And I don't think I have it with me here, but because for Mother's Day, I'm actually talking about today as Saturday. So Saturday is the last day of the jackrabbit. And Sunday, which is when you'll be seeing this, or when we're releasing it, is Mother's Day. And I don't have the chart with me here, I don't think, but I've talked about it before, my mother chart by Zia Gladstone of New York Dreamer. I just have a little bit, I should be able to finish it, I guess, on Sunday. We'll see. But I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then the other thing is I had some haul too because, of course, I had to go with Eve to Hobby Lobby. I was forced to go. And I was like, the most dangerous thing in the world, not having a need to buy anything. But I did go to the cross stitch section while Eve was, looking around because she needed a few threads. And I was, just going over there to look and see what I could throw my money away on. And so I had picked up the threads for her. But one of the things I bought was this little organizer pouch. It says organizer bag. It's basically a notions pouch. But it's a nice little corduroy thing. Yeah. They had, I think, pink ones and gray ones like this. So this is really cute. And then I just bought some little needle minders. They're these. They have like a little button on the back, which I kind of don't like. I always end up like putting the button in the front and the needle minder in the back because the needle sticks to the front better than the back, and I feel like on the back it's a little more protected because of the hoop. So anyway, I just bought these just for fun.
They're cute.
Yeah. They're like there's a little bee that says Be Creative, and there's the little bee, and there's a honeycomb that says Be Creative, a little piece of honeycomb, and then there's a flower here. So then I bought another pair of scissors because we're not going to talk about that. and I bought another piece of...
some people prepare for the end of the world by stocking their pantry with food and non-perishables. And Beth prepares for the end of the world by making sure there's enough scissors.
Yes.
around her
if you need
at all times.
bandages, I've got plenty of scissors to cut bandages with. And then I bought another piece of, this is 46 count embroidery linen. It's white ivory, so I'll probably dye it if I ever use it. But anyway, that's because, like I said, I had nothing to specifically that I needed, so I was just buying random crap. So I think that is me. That's
Okay,
all.
I won't start this row. Okay, so I went to Boston and I took Hannah's sweater with me, and I was able to show it off to her sister. I mean, not her sister, her teacher, who is a knitter. That's where the words all got mixed up. So that was my accomplishment for Boston. And I did knit on it a little bit here and there, but mostly I was exhausted. I came back from Boston, put my knitting away in my craft room, Hannah's room, to hide it from the cats, and I literally probably did not take it out until last night. And I've just been so, like, I hit the ground running. I had to go to work the very next day, and we had a big event, and just I lost my knitting mojo. But and then I realized that all week I had forgotten about my pig project. So while I've been sitting here, I've been working on pig number 2 for the 3 little pigs. I'm almost done with it. And then I'll sew it up and stuff it. So there'll be one more pig before the end of the weekend, and then I'll have to make the 3rd one. But I can give these 2 to my friends and then make mine whenever. But so that's literally all I've done. But boy, do I have stories. You ready for stories? First of all, I wanted to ask. I've seen a lot of people doing. Is that your phone?
It's best
I
phone.
don't. I thought I had turned it all the way off. But
It's best phone. That's why I looked
no,
at
you
it.
know what it is? It's my tablet.
Oh,
It's my tablet.
Because it's coming from behind us.
Yeah, it's my tablet.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. I've seen a lot of people doing like embroidery on like Instagram and stuff, and they embroider this way.
Yeah, you can do that. It's stitching in the ditch basically. So a lot of people put the thing there, the front of the embroidery inside the thing, and that way. The thinking is that you're
So
not.
what I mean is inside this hoop
Yeah.
instead of knitting on like the drum. I
Yeah.
think of this as like a drum.
Yeah. So stitching in the
Getting this
ditch
way.
means you're on the inside, and that way, like your hands contact it less. You have less of a chance of getting it filthy or whatever. And also, I think
I was just wondering.
yeah, it's easier. Like right now, I'm anchoring this thread, and if one
It
thing
would be easier on the other
yeah,
side.
it would be easier. Excuse me, easier on this side because then you're not
Running into the
yeah,
hoop. I see.
like a lot
Yeah.
of times if I'm really close to the edge, I have to like take it out of the hoop and
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I was just curious about that.
yeah.
No, but so it was a really nice trip. And first and foremost, Hannah's recital was absolutely beautiful. Were you able to watch it?
Yeah, I missed like part of the beginning because I was having trouble getting it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was really monumental. It was a huge
Yes.
program. And her teachers were extremely pleased. Everyone was really pleased. And so that was the highlight, of course. But it was a good trip. So when we got there, Hannah had told us it'll be, probably light jacket, sweater, if that, she said. No. It was freezing. And the breeze, the wind in the city, of course, it was so hard. And I had taken my big heavy coat, but I was like, I shouldn't wear that. It's not that cold. Oh man, it was cold. And so when we got there Friday evening, I was like, hey, Eli, let's go up. Because Hannah was busy with rehearsals, and so we were kind of on our own, and we grabbed dinner, and then Eli and I went. Our hotel is attached to the Prudential Center, and they used to have an observatory at the top when I was in school there. And actually, Mark never went with me. I would go up there by myself. And I don't know why he just didn't want to go. He's too cool. So, and this time he didn't go. But they have a whole new thing up there. It's like a Disneyland ride now. And it's expensive, but it wasn't horrible. And actually, when we went to go, the ticket lady gave us like a promo code to for it to be cheaper. I wonder if the reason she did that was there was a party going on up there, so we couldn't have it. Like one corner was inaccessible.
Yeah.
But it was really nice. So I was like, Eli, I think it'd be really cool if we got up there during daylight and watched the sun set up there. Mm-hmm. And so, and it was exactly the right thing to do. And so we went up, and yeah, you know, they have you, because it's in a mall, which is at the bottom of the Prudential Center. Like, the Prudential Tower is here, and then there's like a mall beside it, I guess. I whenever I'm in there, I'm completely disoriented. But then you go into this area, and you go to their elevators, and but it's all lit, and yeah, it feels like a Disneyland ride now. Like, it's all fancy. And come here, Rogue. Come here, silly. And so we went up there, and like, it's like all guided. Like, you start at the very top floor, and if you ever see pictures of the Prudential, you can actually see the letters. So we could see the letters on the inside of the glass. I mean, through the glass, you can see them backwards up there. And so you go up to the very top, and it's all, glass enclosed. And then, and so we took a lot of pictures. Here's a couple pictures, really beautiful. We could see the school from there, and just, Charles River, and the John Hancock Tower is a little bit nearby.
Yeah, I think we went up there when I...
John Hancock also has an observatory, but I haven't been there in years. What's nice about the Prudential is it's 360. You can walk all the way around. And then you go down one floor, and it's an open air floor, but they have, of course, plexiglass that's like 10 feet high, like super high, so that nobody could like
jump
climb
off.
over.
Yeah.
But it's open at the top, and of course it was freezing up there, but it was really beautiful, and the sun had started to set, and so we did that for a while, and then you go down one more floor, and there's like on the open air floor, there's a little bar, and on the next floor down, there's I think a restaurant, although we didn't see it, and of course a gift shop, which was ridiculously priced. But anyway, we had a lot of fun doing that on Friday night, and then on Saturday we met up with Hannah and had food, and we went to the Museum of Fine Arts, and
is that the one I went to that I just ended up sticking in there and not going anywhere else?
Yeah, probably.
It has the pictures of George Washington on it.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful, yeah. And so we're walking around, and Hannah's like, well, where do you want to go? And, the Impressionists are over here. And I was like, okay. I did not know. I was not made aware. I'm like, how did you people not tell me? There are actual Monets and Renoirs in there. Mm-hmm. Like, the one of the people dancing, one of my favorite Renoir.
I didn't get that far because I was just stunned in the one.
When I was in school, there were not Monets there. There was a traveling Monet show that came through while we were in school, and Mark and I went, and it was the big ones, and I fell in love with it, but I didn't know they were still there. Some of the smaller water lilies, and like, I put them on my Instagram. I was like, I didn't know these were here. I didn't know I could see them in the flesh. And so now I took photos and put them. Oh, is my watch dead? Oh, I guess my watch is dead. Hello. I don't know. I put them as background on my watch, so that they scroll through every time I look at it. It was beautiful, and so I was just like, I didn't know these were here. I just literally had no idea. Anyway, dumb me.
He's one of my favorites.
Oh, he is my favorite, and Renoir's right up there. So that was a huge highlight, huge treat. And then we had that night a life changing experience, in my opinion. Mark had seen that Handle with Haydn Society had a concert. They are a group in Boston that plays on period instruments. They play Baroque music and like classical, and there's 2 sets of instruments for those 2 periods. But that night they performed all 6 Bach Brandenburg concertos, and we went to a pre-concert talk, and we went to the concert, and it was some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard. And I mean, I've heard those pieces before, but to see them performed live and performed by such a great ensemble. And the concertmaster, I always say her name wrong, I think it's Aislinn Noski, is the most amazing woman. If you ever have a chance to see this group perform, do it. And she is like this powerhouse. Her hair is like flaming reddish, and it matches her. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, I took some photos while I didn't take video, but I took some photos while she was playing, and I got like zoomed in on her, and like she is like the happiest, like just to see like she's in the right place doing exactly what she loves, and is incredibly amazing at it as well. You know what I mean? Like it was just so. I mean, there were 2 times I was just literally in tears. It was beautiful, beautiful concert. And then Sunday morning we okay. Here's one of the things. We were going to have a reception after her recital because the school now allows you to do that. And so on Saturday during the day, I was like, what do we want to do? And she's like, I don't want cookies. I'm like, okay. Well, what about a cake? And she's like, go to Whole Foods. They have cakes. So I went to Whole Foods. They didn't have cakes, but you could order them, right? And you could order one that feeds 8, one that feeds 12, and one that feeds 50, I think. And I was like, well, okay. And I have a hard time, like, spending tons and tons of money just without any input. And Mark was at the hotel, and I'm like, I can't make this decision by myself. So I went back to the hotel. Then and we talk, and I go to order the quarter sheet cake, and they're like, oh, you need 48 hours. Okay. Rethink. Well, nearby, there's a Star Market, which is just a regular grocery store. I was actually wondering if they were Kroger, because everything looks really familiar. And I was like, what do we do, like mini cupcakes or something, or order a cake from there? And while I was in the hotel room talking with Mark, he's like, well, because it might be more expensive, but what do we do? What if we go to Italy? Now, Italy is in this mall there in the bottom of the Prudential, and it's a Italian import place. I don't know how to describe it. It's like they took a tiny piece of Italy and they dropped it right there. It's like all the different rare brands of things, the little jars of this and that, and the olives and the everything, candy and cookies and bakery items and meat and cheese and like all the stuff that you could possibly want. And so that's all around the outside, and then on the inside there's like 2 or 3 different restaurants. One is just like a little pizza place, one is like fancy, and there's another one, I don't know. So there's like 3 restaurants that are inside the store. It's huge. And then you can also eat at some stations around the outside. Like there's a pizza where you just get a slice of pizza. And then there's like another place, and there's like a little gelato. And then there's a little dessert counter where you can buy little tiny desserts. And last time we were there for her recital, because she couldn't have a reception, but she just invited a few friends back to our hotel lobby, and we got some little desserts, like a little assortment there. And so Mark was wondering, do they sell whole cakes there? And they do. They're a lot of money. But, Daddy will do just about anything for the baby girl. So he's like, yeah, let's get to it. And I'm like, fine, you want to spend the money? That's great. And so we got this beautiful, she wanted something with fruit. And so we got this beautiful, it's like orange liqueur soaked cake with fruit in the middle, and it was gorgeous. But they were little like this, and a lot of money. And then we got a chocolate one. Now, because it was all in Italian and it kind of described it. I wasn't quite sure. But the chocolate one, it was like ganache covered and it had gold like this. All it was gorgeous. And stupid me, I didn't take a picture of them before I chopped them up. Doesn't matter. But that had like a hard cookie in the middle. But I also went to Star Market and got paper plates, napkins, forks, and I bought a cake server. So I was like, here's your first cake server for your life. So you won't wind up like Eve with no cake servers.
I have a cake server.
You was meant to borrow mine. Anyway.
I have a cake server.
Okay.
I just...
Don't know where it is.
No, I use it here all the time.
Anyway, I was like, here's the first cake server of your life. Take it home. So anyway, we did that. And then I also bought a little... so while I was at Star Market buying the paper plates and the napkins and forks, I was like, okay, let's go get a little vegetable tray because, you know, people like me, you need something that's not sugar. And they're vegetable trays. Now, don't come after me. But they're vegetable trays. Instead of having tomatoes, which Hannah loves and seems like a normal type of food, they had chopped up bell pepper. But no tomatoes. Like, you know, they had celery and carrots and whatever, broccoli, and chopped up bell pepper. And I'm like, I knew the ones at Whole Foods had tomatoes. So I was like, tomorrow on our way, because we had to plan this whole thing. Oh, we also had flowers. So on Saturday, I went and ordered flowers. She wanted to give a stem to each person because she had a lot of people who played in her recital. And we wanted to give her a bouquet. So on Saturday, I went and ordered the flowers. And we were like, okay, so this is what we'll do. What are we going to do with the cakes? Because originally we thought we'll pick the cake up at Whole Foods on the way to the recital. Couldn't do that because it was kind of really close by. So then I was like, we'll get the cake from Star Market on our way, and then we'll go and we'll walk to the recital. That didn't work because we got them at Italy on Saturday. And we're like, where are we going to put these? And there was a little fridge in the
hotel room?
In the hotel. So we took everything out and we shoved it all in there. And then we said, we'll get the vegetable tray on the way to the recital. What we didn't plan for was that it was going to be raining. So on Saturday, we're like, okay, we're like planning out, like, I mean, she's like, you can't come into the hall before 7:30. Her recital started at 8 because you can't hear anything, and I'm going to be warming up, and you can't. I'm like, honey, I'm getting to the school before 7:30 because I'm setting all this food up and everything, and I've got to figure out if these cakes are going to just melt because, of course, it was cold and rainy. Because Boston is the opposite of Phoenix, right? When it's hot and you go into a building.
When I was listening to you, not only is it the opposite of Phoenix in weather, it's the I'm listening where you're going here and you're going. You could not do that here in that amount of time.
Walking.
You couldn't do that driving.
Yeah. Well, so it's the opposite of Phoenix in that in Phoenix, when it's hot outside, the businesses, in order to compensate, blast the air conditioners. And everywhere you go, you need a sweater, you're freezing. Even though it's 110, you're freezing. Well, they do the opposite in Boston. It's cold outside, guess what they do? They turn up the heaters. And Canna says, the school is never the right temperature. And it was roasting hot in the vestibule outside the hall. It was roasting hot in the hall. And I'm like, these cakes are going to be a puddle. So I'm like, I look over and near Brown Hall where there's like a little area, and then there's something called the student lounge. And I remembered that it was there from when I went to school there, and I was like, oh. And I went in there, and it was literally like an oven. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I'm wearing a sweater because it's cold outside, right? Anyway, and there was a little dorm fridge in there, in the student lounge. I open it, and it smells like a sour cup of milk. And there's all kinds of weird remnants of food. So I'm like, I'm going to fit these cakes in here if I have to kill somebody. And then they're in these big, fat, hard cardboard Italy boxes that are like giant. But I'm glad they're in those because you can stack them, whatever. So I move all this food around and I shove them in there. So I'm like, okay, at intermission, I'll come get them and they won't have to sit out there for 3 hours, whatever, 2 hours. And I'm like, and in the boxes, they won't pick up that smell. So, so we did all that, and I think I even fit the veg tray, because I just got a little veg tray. Oh, but so we take an Uber because, first of all, we've been walking all over Boston, and we're not used to walking that much. And all of us are in pain. And because it's already Sunday night, right? We walked Friday all over. We walked Saturday all over. We walked Sunday morning all over. So we're like, we're taking an Uber because it's raining. And Sunday morning, it hadn't been raining. But it started in the afternoon. And so we were like, well, we need to eat something. So we Ubered to a restaurant very near the school. And the flower shop was right here. And Whole Foods was right there. So we sat down it was like a bar. It was really nice. And Mark told me what he wanted. And he walked, because we had to pick up the flowers at 7:15 because they closed at 7. But the recital wasn't until 8. And I was like, make sure they cover the flowers so they don't get pelted by the rain and fall apart. So we sat down. He told me what he wanted. And he walked to the flower shop and got the flowers and brought them back, sopping wet. And we had them there in the booth. And then after we ate, he walked straight to the school with the flowers, and Eli and I went to Whole Foods to get the veg, and then we walked to the school, and we figured it all out, and so it was just like, it was like kind of a nightmare, and I had bought an umbrella at Star Market. But then poor Eli was getting soaked, so he bought an umbrella at Whole Foods. Because none of us packed umbrellas.
I was going to say, I remember when we went to take you to Boston, that time that Tim went with us, I don't know if it was the first time or the second time, the first time I guess, that we bought umbrellas at the tea station.
Yeah.
Because, we hadn't planned it, and
you don't think about it.
Yeah.
You just don't think about it.
So Tim and I were huddled under an umbrella.
Yeah. So, but...
Tim is our brother.
Yeah. And then it was a rainy walk back, but it was nice. So I was like, you guys need to eat all this cake because we're not taking it back to the hotel. But it was a really beautiful evening. And then... So then that night, we get home. I can't remember what we did, why we were out so well. The recital started at 8, so by the time we got home, it was like 10:30, and we're in the hotel room. I'm looking around, and I was like, Eli, we have a problem. There is not a drop of Diet Pepsi in this whole hotel room, and I knew. Okay, but I had already gotten into my pajamas.
Uh-huh.
And so had Eli. And I knew so there used to be in that hotel like a little snack bar.
Uh-huh.
And they would stay open pretty late. And there was a bar and a restaurant. Well, unbeknownst to me, they had completely not boarded it up, but it was completely covered because they're renovating the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
And so that was no longer. And there was a little gift shop, and I knew they were open late. And when I had gone there before, he told me the hours, but I was like, I can't remember if he said 10 or 11. So it was like 10:30, or no, it was 10 till 11 when we finally were like, we need to go. But I thought there's got to be a vending machine in this hotel somewhere. So we go downstairs. No, it closed at 10. And it's like just about 11 o'clock. And I go to the concierge and I was like, is there a... Now, mind you, okay, I had changed into my sweats and I had just a t-shirt on and my sweater. And Eli was in his like just a white t-shirt and his, his pajama pants, but they're like, man pants, whatever. And then he was wearing his Crocs and I'm wearing sandals because I was just going to go downstairs. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, I'll find a vending machine. And we go to the front desk and he's like, there's no vending machines in this hotel. And I'm like, are you kidding? So they have room. So because that restaurant was closed, you can do room service. And they're like, or you can go to the Brew, because our hotel has a direct line into the Prudential Center Mall. But it was 11 o'clock at night. So the Prudential Center Mall is closed. And you can get into the hotel, but I don't think you can get into the mall, I don't think, at that hour. I don't know, but I was not going to wander through the mall at 11 to look that everything was closed. And I was not going to order.
It doesn't sound like a safe thing to do.
Well, no, I mean, because you can't, once it's closed, nobody can get in from the outside.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can get into the mall, into the hotel with your room key from the mall, Anyway, so, that's why it was so late. Because, no, that was the other night after the concert we went to, after the Handel Haydn, we went to Cheesecake Factory. No, this night we had eaten before, that's right. Anyway, there's no vending machines. And he goes, this sounds crazy, he goes, but the Hyatt across the street has a 24/7 snack bar. And I was like, it's raining outside. I'm not going to go. But the other thing was, when you go up in the elevator and go to our room, it was literally up and all the way to the end of the hallway. And after walking all over Boston and every step and stair, and I'm like, the thought, because it wasn't just like, run up to the room. It was run up and walk all the way down and walk all the way back. So I didn't want to go change my shoes, right? You know what I'm saying? So I said, I felt like a Pretty Woman, or not Pretty Woman, Notting Hill, when Julia Roberts goes, what do you mean just over the street? Give it to me in yards. Because I was like, what do you mean across the street? I said, what do you exactly mean across the street? He goes, look, see that light right there where it says Hyatt? It's right there. And he goes, also there's a Circle K, or something like that, just down the road that way. And I'm like, I'm not walking to Circle K at 11 o'clock at night in Boston in the rain. So I was like, just across the street. And I look at Eli and I look at each other. This is how desperate we are for caffeine, okay?
Hey, you want a Diet Pepsi?
Or Diet Coke or something. So I'm like, well, we didn't even have water either. So we're like, okay. And I'm in my nice sandals, and Eli's in Crocs, and we're like, well, let's go see what it's like. And the streets are full of puddles, and it's not like a downpour. It's like this little spitty rain, but yet you get soaked, and there's still puddles in the street. So we go out, and we're under the awning, the driveway thing, and then we go out, and Eli steps out into out from under the covering, and he's like, it's not that bad. And I'm like, because you can see the cars driving by, and you see in their headlights just and I'm like, yes it is, but okay, let's go. So we go across, and we almost get hit by a car, and there's all these puddles, and we're having to walk all this way around, and we're in their pull-in area. We don't know really where the door is, and we just kind of walk in, and we're like, oh my god. And I look at myself, and I'm like, I look like I just got out of bed. And I'm walking across, and we walk into the lobby of the Hyatt. And compared to the lobby of the Sheraton where we were, there's the Sheraton was dead, right? Because there's no bar, there's no restaurant, there's nothing happening. We go in there, and it's loud and noise and all these people all over the place at 11 o'clock. And there's the front desk, and there's a little alcove. And I remember from staying at Hyatt's how they do that, right? You go into this little alcove, and then you go to the window on the side of the front desk, and you pay for things. And we go in, and it's all toiletries and stuff. And I'm looking around, and one of the desk people says, did you want snacks? It's on the other side. And I was like, oh, okay. So we walk around the other side. And we go in there, and we're like, okay, we'll get Mark a tea and us some Diet Cokes, and we'll also get 3 bottles of water because we have no water, nothing. And we take them all up and put them on the counter, and the guy was real nice, and he said, I don't know, something. I'm like, yeah, the Sheraton's gift shop closed at 10. He goes, At 10? Why so early? Oh my gosh. Da, da, da. And then he's like under his breath going, okay, you're going to love this. So we had 3 waters and 3 Diet Cokes, right? He goes, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh my God.
And I was kind of looking like, and I was like, what did you just say? Did you say 30? Because Mark had sent me with a $20 bill. And I think I also had my debit card with me. I'm not sure. I said, did you say $30? And he goes, yeah, the prices here. What did he say? The prices here are like, he said some bad word. He's like, the prices here are terrible. And I was like, oh, well. And he goes, I can give you waters from the desk that are free. And I was like, okay. So I went to put the $15
$15 worth of water.
Yeah, I went to put that back. And I come back and he's putting them, he put 3 bottles into they have this, everywhere in Boston, they have these weird paper bags that are like, they're like 2 pieces like this, but then they have like an oval bottom so that you like open them in this, they're like this little oval shape. I don't understand them. Maybe they're more sturdy than regular square bottom bags. I don't know. But so he puts 3 waters in one of those, and then he puts the Diet Cokes in another one. And I have my $20 bill on the little counter there. And he goes like this, and he puts the bags on top of my 20. And he goes, just grab the 20. It's my good deed for the day. So I just slide my hand under the bag and grab my $20. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. Okay. And we run out of the Hyatt with our free drinks. Like, bless you, young man, wherever you are. And we could dodge the rain and the puddles and get back. And I was like, guess what, Mark? We got these for free. And I was like, are you kidding me? And he felt bad charging $15 for drinks. But
in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night in the rain. Yeah, to people in their pajamas. I said, that's why we look like we're in our jammies, because we kind of are. It's okay. It's okay. The dog came to check on me. But it was crazy. And then we had a nice day. Monday, we met up with Hannah for my early Mother's Day brunch, because it's like I never have my 2 kids with me on Mother's Day. So it was really nice. And then we walked. The place we went to brunch was a place that Hannah had introduced me to one of the times before. I think when she graduated her undergrad, we met there after I got off the plane, and it was really nice. It's called Café Bonjour, and it's right downtown, near like Park Street Church area, near the Commons. So we walked out to the Commons and just had a really beautiful stroll through the Commons, through the gardens, and then we sat and watched the swan boats, although nobody wanted to go but me. I wanted to go on the swan boat, but anyway. And then we walked down Commonwealth Avenue, which, if you're familiar with Boston, there's the 2 halves of the street run on either side of like this central like parkway. It's beautiful. It's like a path, grass, trees. It's really, really gorgeous. And so we had a really nice stroll down there, and then we went over to Newbury Street and got cream puffs at
Ouch.
Hannah's favorite place called the Bearded Papa. And
Can you see my dog's head right here?
And so it was really nice. And then we went back to the hotel, and she took off. She said, I'm going to go gallivanting. And then we went to the airport. And the first flight was nice, but for some reason, the second airplane we took, it was one of those new modern ones. It had like USB plugs in the seats. It was like super nice, but it was roasting hot. I was wearing jeans.
When I picked her up, she's like, can you put the air conditioning on?
It was horribly hot. And the little vents at the top that you turn, like I could feel the air with my hand, but it never reached my face. And and Eli was roasting. I was roasting. Mark just went to sleep. Like he can. And I was just like, I had that stupid safety thing, and I was fanning myself. Come here, Rogue. I was fanning myself the whole time. Like, and the next day I was like, I don't know why my hand hurts so bad. Oh, because I fanned myself with a thin piece of cardboard for 3 hours. It was horrible. And it was longer because we had to go around some horrible storm in Kentucky? No.
Could be.
Somewhere like
Was
that.
it that tornado?
I was
Get
gonna
down.
say,
Come here.
I remember seeing
the
some
sun-
blurb about like tornadoes like touching down in Arkansas and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
So
yeah.
we went around
And Hot Springs.
some bad storm. This was Monday evening. The sun wasn't down yet, but the clouds were as black as this Coke, and you could see the lightning. Like we were going around it, but it was like, and at one point you could feel the plane just fall, and like it was not fun. It was, we were roasting, we were scared, and there was scary lightning and scary clouds. And then the sun went down, and so you had turbulence without being able to see, out the window, and that was no fun.
When I was on
And
the
then-
hovercraft, which any of you don't know what the hovercraft is, it's a vehicle that goes across the channel from England to France and back, back and forth. It's not a ferry. You can't see out the windows once the thing starts. So, which means your brain cannot tell the horizon. So you can get your inner ear to understand and your brain to understand that, And they had just opened the channel up. We were going back from England back to France, and we were in Belgium, not France, but we had to go to France first. It was so choppy that it would go at least 3 feet up and then back down almost immediately.
Oh.
It was horrible. It was the worst flight I had. They call it a flight. It was the worst flight I'd ever been on, ever. And I never had motion sickness before. I'd been on cruise ships and all kinds of stuff. Never had it. After that, I couldn't get on an airplane without getting sick to my stomach. So what you were describing, I would have been like, excuse me, do you have any Dramamine?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't I was just, I just felt like I was going to faint. It was so hot. And I almost said, Eli's like, can we call the thing? And well, first of all, the flight attendants couldn't come see us because it was so choppy. They were mostly
Strapped
seated
in.
the whole time. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know if they can do anything about it. And I didn't see any. I'm like, am I having autonomic dysfunction? Like something wrong with me or something wrong with the universe? Because it was just, anyway, it was horrible. I was extremely hot, and but overall, it was a really great trip, and then this week has been crazy.
It's because you took all that time off.
Well, no, we had a big event. So our music director at the Phoenix Symphony, this is his last week, and so we had a big, we call it Savor the Symphony luncheon. So it's a fundraiser where we honored him, and so I was just I was helping out with that, and then it's been a crazy week. Getting ready for this final weekend is his last conducting, and actually we're going to the concert tonight, and there's a big after
reception
thing, and we'll be doing that. So that's fun.
Yeah.
A little bit of free food and just hang out and talk to people, and then tomorrow's his last Sunday's his last time to conduct. And we have to say goodbye to him, and it's kind of sad. And next year we're going to be auditioning new guys, women and guys, and so it's been kind of a crazy week. And then and I feel like I just got him packed. Now I got to pack because I'm going back next Friday, to just me by myself to see her graduate. Okay, but we have to talk about something. Did I already say this? Maybe I already did. But Paul Simon is going to be her commencement speaker.
Oh my
And he's
gosh.
receiving an honorary degree. And I am going to be in the same building with Paul Simon. And although I'm very glad Hannah's getting her degree and I watch her walk across the stage and take her picture, I'm just so excited to see Paul Simon. Like, I love you very much, honey. And she said, because I was talking to her friends at the recital, and one of her friends was like, my parents weren't going to come, but when they found out he was going to be here, they decided to come. I'm like,
But you know, going to Boston at the time when people are graduating and everything is not an easy thing to do.
Nope, it's expensive.
Yeah, because everything is booked.
Yeah.
Yes, everything. Fortunately, this trip, I'm staying with Hannah, so it'll be a little bit easier.
You know, I remember when you got married, it happened to be over
Indian market.
Indian market that happens in Santa Fe in August. And you warned one of your, I think it was the groomsmen, you need to get your reservation very early because everything fills up.
Yeah, it was her rental car, and he was like, "Oh, I just like he was thinking it was a credit card thing or whatever. Like, oh, he could just put it on his credit card." And I'm like,
No
you know,
amount
he
of
was
money is
like,
going to get you a reservation at that time of.
If there's no car, there's no car. Doesn't matter what kind you have to pay for it.
And we're not talking about just in Santa Fe, even though Indian Market is in Santa Fe. Every hotel in Albuquerque, every hotel in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
It may be different
because
now
everybody
because
flies
there's more.
into the city, into Albuquerque, and then drives up to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
You know, so there aren't any cars.
The same thing happens at the Bloom Fiesta.
Balloon Fiesta. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know going to Boston in May is not because even though it was just her recital that we were at Northeastern University graduating, so they were everywhere. Now, when we were up in the Prudential Tower, there was a woman there in her cap and gown taking pictures, and I was like, I want to do that with Anna. I have this vision of her standing in the corner. Where you can see the school, because you can see the school, her school right there. So I wanna have her doing this and pointing to the school in her cap and gown, and she's got to get her hood too.
Oh yeah.
She's getting her master's.
So
I'm so excited.
When Dad took me to IU, Indiana University, for my second year in grad school, we went out there and had to stay in some serial killer motel outside of town because there was no place.
Didn't make reservations before.
Because there was no place to stay in town, and Bloomington is a very small town. It's a little tiny town in southern Indiana. It's about an hour south of Indianapolis, but it's basically a small college town. And but when the college is in session, the population of the town basically doubles. So because of the school population, but without the school kids there, it's a small town, or it was once upon a time. I don't know how it is now, but so there was And then I don't remember, because at one point Dad stayed with me. It may have been after we got into town or something like that. But then when I graduated, I think you and Mom and Dad stayed in one of the dorms because some of the dorms had emptied out, I guess. So I was able to get them a room in one of the dorms, like a hotel.
I have no memory of that.
Yeah, it was.
But Boston in May is no fun. It's so busy, but and it's going to be worse when I go back. But fortunately, like I said, I'm staying at her place. Now, the unfortunate part is that after all that walking and all that time on my feet and everything else, and also I've been using my standing desk at work all week because I for my health, I just really can't be just sitting all day. So, but all this time, and you know, Boston was like a lot of walking. I went up some stairs the other day, and my left knee is like, we're not happy about this. But her apartment, you go up 5 steps from the street, and then you go up a flight of steps to her apartment, and you open the door, and then you go up a flight of steps into the actual apartment. And I'm like, and that's where I'm going to stay all day, every day for 4 days.
There's
And I'm like, I'm going to die.
There's some commercial for an insurance company, the one with the emu, and but anyway, there's some scene that I guess it's supposed to be like a renovated fire department kind of thing that has it has one of those poles, a fireman's pole, and then so the guy and the emu are up there. And the phone rings and he's like, oh, somebody needs to, save on their insurance or whatever. So he slides down the pole, the fireman's pole, and then he gets to the bottom and then there's a ding and the emu walks out because there's an elevator. He goes, there's an elevator?
Yeah, there's no elevators. Boston is all stairs. And I'm like,
it's like that.
Over this.
That play, oh, golly. But with Robert Redford and Jane Fonda, they were very young. I can't think of the name of it, but they live in a teeny weeny little apartment, barefoot in the park.
Yeah.
They live in this teeny weeny little horrible apartment, but it's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 flights up. It's just a running gag in the play that it was like climbing up the stairs.
I am not looking forward. Here's a little pig. Pig is done. It doesn't look done.
Pig skin.
It's a pig skin. Oh my gosh. Well, we better go. We've been yakking for a while. We hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. And we will see you next week. We're going to have to record early again, girls. I'm sorry. Because I'm already out of there again. One more time. In my
mind, I'm already gone.
And, but we will see you next week for sure.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day. Have a good week. Oh, and I wanted to say, these flowers, I was looking at these little pink ones, Eve. They're not real. Eve made all of those flowers. Mm-hmm. It's so cool.
I was thinking I need to make more of the little pink ones.
They're so... Mm-hmm. I was looking at that. I'm like, it looks so real.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you were in your flower making kick?
Mm-hmm.
They're so beautiful, aren't they? Anyway, you have a good day. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Bye.